You will pay for it. You pay for it. You are going to tell me why you left the court. And we will fight it to Supreme Court. And maybe we will establish as a precedent that Nigerians ought not to be treated in this fashion.
That's right.
With all due respect to the learned judges, for whom I have the greatest respect. But like I said, this ruling, it will not take 2 minutes.
That's right.
It will not take 2 minutes to deliver the ruling and then get back to any conference that, he's attending. So what I want to say, I have said it, I have written to all the security agencies, I have written to major embassies, I've written to the American embassy, I've written to the British embassy, I've written to the French embassy, German embassy, and I've warned that you cannot make the mistake of installing an unconstitutional president in Nigeria.
That's right.
It will have been better that you resolve this question that we brought before the court. We are not saying that the question must be resolved in our favor. We brought the question here to be resolved. We have a right to have the question resolved. Like I always say, hearing belongs to me, decision belongs to the court. You understand? So you cannot make the mistake of installing somebody unconstitutionally. It's an overthrow of the Constitution. That person, now if you read section 1, subsection 2 of the Constitution, it says, no person or group of persons shall be permitted to take control of the federal government or any part of it, take control of federation or any part of it, except in accordance with the Constitution. That section invests every Nigerian with authority to resist whoever is sworn in,
that's right, yes,
contrary to the Constitution.
That's right.
Every Nigerian, yes, in every station of life,
yes,
wherever he is,
that's right,
that is an order from the Constitution to that person to resist whoever is sworn in unconstitutionally. Yes. So it must be that those who want to do this swearing in have conspired against democracy.
That's right.
And want to overthrow it.
Yes.
The Constitution says, section 14, subsection 2A, that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria.
That's right.
And they give consent to those who govern through the Constitution. So where you do not observe the Constitution, it means that you do not have the consent of the people to rule. The people have a right to say, we are not going to recognize you or acknowledge you. Yes. What is coming to Nigeria is what these people, they are behaving like children, as far as I'm concerned.
Animals.
They are behaving like children. We all saw Shoneko here. Somebody went with a decree or word of mouth, made somebody president and commander-in-chief. A court, it took just one declaration from a court, and it was gone. It's the same thing that we are, the same thing that we are getting into. Any court in Nigeria is invested with the authority to interpret the Constitution and can say that the person who calls himself president was not duly elected. That's and right. Therefore cannot answer that title and cannot give any instructions that should be obeyed. And that will be the beginning of crisis. We have warned against this. I don't know what is making them behave, think that it's a joke. I don't know how you will take 200 million Nigerians as a joke. It's not going to happen. The Constitution says you go and have a second election. But you feel too big. Like I was explaining to someone, it's the same in discipline. Where you have red light, say stop. That's right. You feel too big. Because you are driving your Jeep, you don't stop. It's the same thing. It is the discipline in us that we have carried over to this exercise. The Constitution says you've not made it. You've not made 25% in Abuja. Nobody has told me that I'm wrong. There is no constitution. There is no court. I came to this court for the court to tell me that I'm wrong.
That's right.
Rather than telling me I'm wrong, the court, stays away from court.
Mutes.
The court cannot even look me in the eye. So nobody has told me.
Wahala, wahala, wahala. So I want to see what constitutional crisis look like. When Kolu will start asking DSS to arrest people, they want to cause problem in Nigeria. They want to cause crisis in Nigeria. I can't wait for that time because it's almost here now. Are you with me? It's called constitutional crisis. Like somebody called me Olodo. Olodo. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm just reporting it, right? The Ologmo, the Sodikis, the Weres that you call leaders in Nigeria, the criminals that controls your institutions in Nigeria, the Ogbon Sodikis, look at where their brainy, smartness, wisdom has brought Nigeria. Look at it. More divided than ever. When fraudsters, when fraudsters try to act like noblemen and women, time is only what they have before they get exposed. Unfortunately, like we have said many times, Nigerians are the easiest people to govern, or the easiest people to defraud, not even govern. That's not governing. You have the Buhari Deans, the Buhari Diderins. You have the Buhari Denotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungoziaris, the Unekaaris. These are the home-based, ombud slaves, sophisticated morons. Those are the home-based. Those who are there, who are abroad, are the Mumu Madus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers, and the likes. So when you have criminals who are supposed to be smart, Abi, may I give you some names? The Central Bank Governor of Nigeria is smart, Abi. At least me, Abi Kuruntu, Abi Olodo, when it comes to economics, Abi. Shut up your mouth. Do you know what somebody will do to become a central bank governor? My friend, shut up. You do know it. That is one ombud slave trying to kind of tell me that somebody who ended up destroying Nigeria economy beyond anything that will recover in 20 years. Emefiole and all of them within that racket that destroyed Nigeria economy, destroyed jobs, destroyed businesses. They are smarter than me. So I should keep short when he's talking. That's somebody who is an ombud slave. Bokuari, the retired general, that has not been able to capture one single terrorist, but he has lost over 100,000 Nigerians to the cold death of terrorism in 8 years. He is a general, remember? He is once head of state too. So when he is talking, who are you? Shut up your mouth, Jare, and keep quiet. But yet people are dying on that, those who have that wisdom, experience. No be so? I'm just saying. So when you call me Olodo, it is to tell you that majority of you are as smart as the criminals that you call leaders, unfortunately. It doesn't matter where you are living, whether you are living in Nigeria or you are living in Sudan or you are living in London. We know so many of you that they took out of Nigeria. You left Nigeria. Unfortunately, Nigeria never left you. But it's actually a pure hypocrisy as well. When you tell the ones at home, the ombud, the ombud slaves and the sophisticated morons at home, to tell them that Rome was not built in a day. But you are not telling them that those who built Rome, they were not thieves. They were not busy stealing the gravel, stealing cement, stealing the stones, stealing everything that they would have used in building the roads in Rome. Rome was not built in a day. You stayed abroad, enjoyed what you kind of take for granted the luxury that those humbled slaves and then, sophisticated morons at home, those ones that always fight for God, unfortunately, so coward, so lazy, that they have to live their own fight for God. God will fight for me. Olori Buruku that is removing cloths, fighting to defend Tinubu or Bokwari on social media. Situation enter. Is asking God to come and fight for him. That's the kind of Diashiris that may find themselves out of Nigeria. But guess what? They just left Nigeria. Doesn't mean that Nigeria has left them. We know some of those Olori Burukus are abroad as well. When you remember those selfish, self-centered people that your leaders, your criminal leaders represent. And then you see that same pattern in some of these Ashiris that find themselves abroad as well. And you begin to ask yourself that, why are you still acting like you want to own the whole world? You've been living abroad for so many times. How come you are condoning every horrible things that you know that are synonymous with Nigeria? And they will tell you, nothing. I'm just saying, right? So, lawlessness, the craftiness, as well as the criminality of those who have been in charge of Nigeria, brought Nigeria to this state. It's not me, it's not mostly you. It's just some of these Olori Burukus as well, who mostly, they can't really differentiate. And some of you get confused too. You're like, how can somebody living in America be talking like this? Olori Ibu. If you go and check the long story of how they go to that America or go to that UK or wherever they are, I'm saying something here, right? Let me explain something to you. Those who destroyed Nigeria, those who have been in charge of Nigeria, especially these last 8 years, their result is out. It's not being faked. Sure you get, okay? But you will see some of these Ashiris abroad too, These Martian Fanis. We call them Martian Fanis and Olori Bus, right? When you're now talking about the consequences of all these actions of these criminals, then they will turn around and be like, what about you? Is your life better abroad? Are you trying to say that you are better than us? Are you saying your life is better than those living in Nigeria? You're like, hello, sorry, what are you talking about? Why do you want to make it about me? Why is it about me? Am I the one who is meant to keep you safe, but it's not doing it? Or am I the one who is supposed to arrest criminals in Nigeria and jail them, not free them? But I'm not doing it. So how come it's about me? They say, but I'm just saying, even you, what have you done? I say, am I the one that is meant to actually stop stealing your money that is meant for your medical improvement, developing your medical facilities, your schools, your infrastructures, but I am keeping the money? Like, why is it me? But I know all that. It's called deviation. Sure you get. So that you just be like, what do you want me to do? But if you cannot do anything, why must you ask the government to do everything? Say, Olori Buruku niyi. And these are the same people that their hands are so fast. When they sense that their lives are in danger, they will pick their phones and dial 999, be 911. When they have a medical emergency, they know the numbers to dial. They are abroad though, but in Nigeria, when you have a security emergency, do you know what you do? You shout, ẹ gbà mí o, ẹ gbà mí ará àdúgbò, help me o. That is the SOS of Nigerians. They don't call the police because there's no police to call. Do you understand? If you have medical emergency, all you have to do is to look for any local app to use because you may not have all the money to carry out the normal test. Where will you even get that? Now, if there's any emergency that somebody just suddenly stop breathing, you don't call emergency in Nigeria. You don't call ambulance in Nigeria. You go out there and the SOS in Nigeria, the 911 in Nigeria, the 999 in Nigeria is you rush out. Ẹ gbà mí ará àdúgbò Bọ́lá ti dákẹ́ o. That's how they will know that something is wrong. Hey, Chineke, Ipa don die yo. They say, hey, Ipa don die ke. Wetin happen? Everybody will rush in. Now them go come confirm, say, oh, he's dead. Oh, she's dead. There's not going to be anything medical or review. They will say, you know what, Mo will no waste time, okay? What time is it? This is past 12, Past 12. Mo will call Shamsi, Taju, and then Amy, Nike, make them come dig the ground. so that we feel bury am before 5 o'clock. No be so. So it's not me. You can make it all about me. You can make yourself feel better. You can point your fingers. But the truth of the matter is this: when you are done pointing those fingers, when you are done asking me those stupid questions like, what about you? Is it that your life is better than us? Do you think you are better? Because all majority of you know about that makes your life better in your mind is that the moment you have money, it doesn't matter how you get the money. But look at yourselves today. In Nigeria, your politicians are stealing billions. You don't even know what they are doing with the money. Poverty everywhere. Look at them themselves. They have so much money, but yet they have no life. So that is why some of you feel like, oh, is it because you are living abroad? It is simply because when you have no one, listen, it is like a case of an asylum. And as you can see it yourself, right? While your criminal leaders are kind of protecting themselves against everything you are facing, you are hunting yourselves. Dog eat dog. Is that not what Nigeria is? If they are not using gun to chase you, they will probably be using other technology to chase you. Poor people fighting poor people in order to get better, and it's something they call the "I better pass my neighbor" kind of life. So it's so unfortunate that those who live in a place that they could call 999, 911 in time of emergency are encouraging those who are shouting, "Egbami o, help us, oh, God, please help us." So they say, what happened? What happened? Go inside. That's emergency in Nigeria. Those who are abroad are telling you that this Mayegun, shut up your mouth. I know what do you want to know about me? I'm not a rich person. I'm very comfortable and I'm very safe too. And where I am, nobody has to deal with me because of what my second name is or the color of my skin. And this is a place that you can see like 6,000 to 7,000 miles away from where I was originally born. A place where you know your place. The last 8 years showed everybody in Nigeria where they belong. I mean, everybody now know that there is no one Nigeria, but many Nigerias where criminals are taking advantage of those who are just slow. You know what they say about being slow? Instead of saying that you are dumb, they say, no, a lot of them are very slow. A lot of Nigerians are very slow. Very slow. Here. In 2018, breaking news, Nigeria national carrier, NigeriaAir, is coming back. Nigeria is going to have a national carrier again after 1976. In 1976, in 1970, back on. So somehow, a lot of people were just like, okay, that's not bad. They're just going to ruin it. You know, those who are always kind of skeptical about Nigeria. Oh, maintenance problem when Nigeria builds something, when your politicians, after they successfully build something, to see beautiful edifice and all that, forget about the money they spend, but beautiful edifice, people will be like, no, maintenance will destroy it. Corruption will ruin it. You know, that kind of being skeptical, right? But in the case of NigeriaAir, it's a different ball game. You want to know the story? In 2018, a guy called Abu Sirika, or Abu Sidika Deni. Now, Abu Sirika is their aviation minister in Nigeria. The guy just cooked up his own fraud, packaged everything, and he just forgot that Nigerians always claim to be intelligent, educated, and exposed. He just flung it in the open. NigeriaAir. Okay, hang on. A country want to set up a airline. What are the odds? Is it for profit? Or is it for partnership that a private company or private airlines will just carry that name? Like Virgin. You remember Virgin Nigeria? And here Nigeria. Sure you remember? Virgin bought here Nigeria, but they are carrying that flag for maybe about 6 months and he died. You remember that? Okay. Abu Sidika, come and tell us about this NigeriaAir until they brought out a logo. I'll show you. They went to Bahrain to design a logo. Then they flew to London, air show, to tell the people who came to advertise new aircraft, some air technologies, and all of that. They call it London Air Show. This guy came with a PowerPoint with a logo, NigeriaAir. Baba, where your office in where your office day? Anything like website? Is there anything going on? Like, what's the deal? Tell people, tell them the deal. What's the deal? No, you're asking too many questions. Majority of you are just enemy of Nigeria. You don't want progress for Nigeria. That's why you are not praying anything. Don't share now. What is wrong with you? I said, tell us what are the things that shows that this is real and it's not fraud. They won't let us talk, but I didn't stop talking then. I was like, if you all remember very well, until all of you now realize that it was fraud. By the time the entire Nigeria will realize that they've been defrauded, 24 billion naira is gone. So, last year, 2022, Abu Sirika, Abi na Abu Sirika tieni no Abi kilon jeno. That's a dika Abi say, sha know the guy Abi. They just appear in the media again. Like, what's going on with NigeriaAir? He said NigeriaAir will fly before the handing over of Bokwari. Okay. But at least if you are really doing something, 24 billion, you should be able to build a website. You should be able to have a building in Abuja that you can call office. Sure, you get. You be the aviation minister, Abi. You can be able to even open a stand at all the airports in Nigeria with this design of NigeriaAir. Sure, you get. Then you can start recruitment exercise. Recruitments like, okay, Nigeria is going into partnership with so airline. Like I gave, like the example I gave you earlier, Virgin Nigeria, remember? So if they come out and say, listen, we are currently going into partnership with this so company, they don't even have to be the one to do it. They are government anyway. So they want to sell that franchise or something like brand, Abi. If they meant it for Nigeria, not fraud, well, it's fraud, Abi. So they would have shown you and said, we are going into partnership with this company. And they are going to start. The first one is that we are employing pilots. We are employing this, and that. Okay. And for ticketing, this is the website. If you want to buy tickets, these are the routes we are going to be flying. NigeriaAir will be flying to these places in Africa or to this local flight. All those information, you would have seen them there. Something that is so easy. These young people, they can build you this simple website in weeks. I'm talking about functional website, protected website. Government as a government. Oh, na GPT. The kind GPT where you will find in the midst of northern governors. Some ridiculous things like they are organizing mass wedding in Kano. For people who don't get job, but they are doing mass wedding for 5,000 people. Mass wedding for 10,000 people. They don't get job, Almajirio, but it's a project that when you check the number, So Abu Sirika, Alaye, come here. Kini deal? What is the deal? What's going on? What is the plan? But if you ask any question, you'll be the enemy. So sometimes in September or so, Abu Sirika said they have reached an agreement, business agreement, with Ethiopian Airline. That Ethiopian Airline are going to bring in they are going to bring in 5 brand new passenger aircraft. Okay? And in another 1 year, they promised to add another 10 aircraft, making it 15 that will be flying NigeriaAir. Okay, that sounded somehow like a plan. Okay, what about the office? What about the recruitment? What is the website? What are the contact email and all that of the NigeriaAir? If you want to make inquiries about this whole thing, where do you go to? Absolute zilch. But it's fraud as well, right? About the last week. Now so Abu Sirika showed up again. And he said, Nigeria here will fly before Bukwari leave office. Inshallah. Ha, inshallah. Abu, for your mouth, inshallah. Allah is patient. Abi Allah no patient. What thing you want to do? You want recruit now, or have you been doing it secretly like you always do your secret recruitment? What are you going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. In Yoruba, they will sing, if it's like a Thanksgiving, they will say, Bomilowo kimbo elowo oku orire Bomilowo kimbo elowo oku orire. Shake me, I shake you. Congratulations. Shake me, I shake. It don't even make sense in English. But those who understand it in Yoruba will tell you. Congratulations. The 419ers. Abu Sirika, to justify his 24 billion naira spent on NigeriaAir. 2 days ago, I said, I hope all of you are counting this, so because you know, again, oh, are you still going to have Nigeria here? They said, Maybe could they watch? I said, you know, Nigeria, where those people have stolen your money, and today you have more private jets on your tarmacs in Nigeria, airport tarmacs in Nigeria, than commercial flight aircraft. I'm not kidding. Ordinary House of Rep member, they buy private jets under this Bukwari. Monumental corruption, never seen before. 77 trillion naira debt. Baba, you go fear. Rep member, they buy private jets. They pack them everywhere. So I was thinking they were going to just paint one. And paint NigeriaAir on it. Or maybe not even one, maybe paint about 5 or 6. And they will just fly them into Nigeria and make it look like, hey, I didn't know that they are going to have to fly NigeriaAir. They will be delivering, that they are going to deliver NigeriaAir by air. And it's just NigeriaAir logo. NigeriaAir. You know, when I say deliver NigeriaAir, I'm not saying about plane, no. You know what they did? They went to Ethiopia. They cut a deal with Ethiopian airline. With they are registered and all of that stuff, right? Nothing to do with Nigeria here. There's no Nigeria here in Nigeria. Oh. No office, no nothing. Oh. They now printed NigeriaAir on the aircraft. And this is also, in fact, they shall print one on it and they flew it to Nigeria. But before it got to Nigeria, somebody saw it on their tarmac in Addis Ababa. I'll show you. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I think that was when they finished the painting and they washed the aircraft, right? I think that was the moment they decided to take a video because they were boarding. They were taking it to Nigeria. And when it got to Nigeria, here.
Wannan ta magana ku da Efron din ba da baki da baki.
So that was when the aircraft landed in Abuja. So they were washing it, and they brought all the cameras, they brought the media, they say, this is a great thing. President Muhammadu Buhari, see what he has done. He has brought back NigeriaAir. So those who were like tracking this decided to kind of show how it all went, especially if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube. You may not be able to see this, okay? So it's one of their commercial aircraft, okay? Just to bobo 200 million people, or maybe bobo themselves, okay? So painted it, flew it to Nigeria, not on a commercial flight, not on anything, no office of NigeriaAir, no contact of NigeriaAir, just the same vibe of 200 million, people. And afterward, you can kiss the rest goodbye. The registration of the aircraft, in case if you want to check that out, okay? Here we go. One sec. Yes. And you can actually search for all of them anyway. Like, where has it been? Where have they been using the airline? And all of that. How old is the airline? The plate number. So what happened is that the moment the plane landed in Nigeria, it didn't take time. This is what landed in Nigeria. And underneath it, right, this is where it is registered to. And it didn't take long for people to even discover the actual plane. To the point that this plane, as at 2 days ago or so, they still tracked it and they said it didn't have NigeriaAir on it. Oh, see, at the tail end of aircraft, you will see the registration there, okay? Now, if you look at this, that's the registration on this plane as well. So 11 years since it's been in their fleet, they went to Ethiopia to look for one that they can present to you. And they can't be like bad belly. I know a lot of you have very, very much like in their asses, of course, but there's nothing anybody can do about that. So I hope this happiness and joy actually last. Okay, when I say last, I mean maybe they can indeed. No, I don't want to make you believe that, because I know that's BS. It's not how it works. Okay, now let's go further. Here is I don't know if you have seen after the court judgment, what came up next was that Bokwari took Tinubu on Asshole Rock Villa tour. So I'll just show you the share they did. Sure you get. And I'll take you to a retreat where the Labour Party were doing a retreat for their elected members. Where a guy spoke there. I want to share what he said with you, all of us. Okay, so let's go back into the clip from the Asshole Rock Villa. And at first, listen to this. At first, there is this concert in Abuja yesterday organized for for the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, and the rest of the Tinuburukus, of their clans and all that. In Abuja yesterday, and since this morning, people have been busy talking about canceling artists. They gave them 10 million naira to come and entertain the Nigerians that want to see Tinubu inaugurated. They called it inauguration concert, which is brilliant. So people started saying that they are canceling this or canceling that artist. They say, you go cancel everybody, tire. Because as Nigeria be now, it go hard for them to reject a 10 million, 20 million naira concert money just for a few minutes. You get what I mean? So let's go into that Asshole Rock. Yesterday, Kolu had this to say, Tinubu.
We must make headway as you've charted the course. The people deserve no less. You said so. You have bestowed the nation's highest honor on my Vice President-elect, Shettima and me. Our deep thanks also for the transition documents which clearly enumerated the effort of the past 8 years and you. The document summarizes the immense work of your administration. They constitute an impressive and noteworthy scorecard. You have made history, and no one can deny your contribution to our national development. Your devotion to progressive and democratic governance is unassailable. I stand here today renewed in hope and dedication to our national greatness. I also feel full of pride that this moment is our moment, and I know what it represents. I shall not disappoint you. Thank you.
So that was yesterday. You see, every time I have a video break on YouTube and Facebook like that, you see that my TikTok phone is always on. So once in a while, I pick their comments too. So I do reply and respond to them. You know what I mean? So when I said that we are going to go to the Old Rock to go and see Tinubu and Kolu doing Old Rock tour, somebody said, I be olote, you be olote. I say, if you like say you just they know me. Me unsho lote, oloto. You know what is called oloto? The truth sayer, your conscience. Because you know something, you can abuse me today because of your expectation on these criminals. Why can't you just give them chance? Why don't you just at least he has not been the president now. You will see, he will change this country. He will put you to shame. Mayego, you will see. God will help Ashiwaju. They told me more than this during Bokwari. I was a very bad person. Oh, I was a very, very bad person to a lot of them. When I was saying, look at all these strange bedfellows. Look at all their track records. Look at all the lives they have ruined. How could you believe that these ones are coming to change your lives? Shut up your mouth. Do you know that it was Saraki that brought Kiniko to Ilani? It was Kiniko that they were telling me stories there. I was a bad person, very bad person. Shut up your mouth. So I didn't shut up my mouth. When Bokwari started doing them shaggy, when Nigeria started turning on its own, a lot of them, the disappointment, the heartbreak you are suffering in silence. I can imagine it. So that people come on here to abuse me, new. That's why I said that if you are one of those who are new today, you can look at me and say, don't mind him, he's looking for attention. Attention from who? From people who are ready to finish you and kill you. They don't need to touch you before they destroy you. Look at all the lives, the lives that, the businesses that got destroyed in the last 8 years. Look at the millions of lives that that affected. So if they do better, for example, let's say right now, Nigeria has 24 hours electricity. So if I come here and I say, Bokwari didn't give you electricity, you know, go hit me raw. I say, shut up your mouth, you be all lotte. That time, if you call me all lotte, it will make sense. Let's assume that since 2015 till now, instead of crying about those who have become victims of kidnappings in Nigeria, insecurity, let's assume that since Bokwari and APC came in, there's no single terror attack, talk less of kidnapping in Nigeria. If I come here to come and attack APC or say something about them, will you see it as an attack? Won't you face me and say, my friend, get out of here, Joe? Didn't we know what Nigeria was then? Did you not know that the way they are kidnapping and killing people? But the figures, the numbers don't lie. In 8 years, they destroyed Nigeria. You may be finding it difficult to accept. So 8 years ago, your fathers and your mothers, some of you are like Indomie generation. Olefimi Koroso. You can use me to learn how to abuse people. You are welcome. You can use me. Go on. Some of you are Dagbamaniye. Tifun Laurent. Right? You can also use me to abuse. Abuse me. I want about buying your fathers, your mothers, those your uncles and aunties, home and abroad. 8 years ago. They actually, if you see the level of the Ishon where they held their neck, where they were screaming, leave him alone. Change. 8 years after, a lot of them are cursing him. So you can call me Olote, Oluoto, that's what they call me. Mayegun Oluoto, Olododo, that's what they call me. If it don't make sense to you right now, by the time they disappoint you, by the time the whole scandal start falling in, by this time the whole thing started falling apart, you will remember what Mayegun said. It is just so unfortunate that some of you are, some of you Lagos Abobakus, what do you call it? Majority of you are suffering from Arun Opolo. The Arun Opolo is that even when they start doing you the shege, when you begin to face the fire, the shege like you are facing under Bukwari, when Mayegun comes back to say, you see, you go chop your suffering, you go hand over to your children. Hey, look at this Mayegun, oh. Look at this Mayegun, oh. Because he's living abroad. He's now happy that we are poor. Mayegun is now mocking us. Is it because you are living abroad? Mental problem, gidi. So you can abuse me today. Bumi da. You understand? Because of Tinubu, iwo bumi da. I go day here. Ogun ọdún leni gbọ̀nyìn òkè gbọ̀nyìn ọgbọ̀n ọdún leni gbọ̀nyìn òkè gbọ̀nyìn 50 years ọdún leni gbọ̀nyìn òkè gbọ̀nyìn. How do you think I get to become like a diary, by the way? Because I have a destiny with life to live so long and remain your conscience for a very long time. Your conscience. You don't have to like me. And you don't even have to hate me too. Because you know something? The people you are banking on, they are rogues and criminals. Yeah? And if you love them, you will be their victim. I will continue to make you realize that you'll be their victim. And when you become that victim, you will remember me. So what do I need? Why do I need you to like me or not like me? But the otito, it will always be there. You know what I mean? So yeah. The Akudaya, the two Akudayas, the lifeless breathing mannequin, as well as, Ashiwaju Awon Tole, after the court, whatever, they decided to do a tour. At a point, it won't fall. Off your camera, that's when I go off camera inside Aso Rock again. Off your camera, at least not be saying poo for body. Why are they off camera saying stagger? I'll show you. You should pay attention very well. Oh. So they are doing a tour today. Call if there's anything with me, I go kind of enjoy, which is selfish. Let's be honest, it's selfish, okay? Because I know that I'm not going to be affected by anything they do. Whatever they turn Nigeria to, whatever they make of Nigeria, good or bad. Okay, good. I think when Nigeria is good, the pressure will die down, which is good if they do good. I mean, it's kind of good to wish that, you know what I mean? But again, it don't affect me. Do you understand? It doesn't. But nevertheless, indirectly, it affects me too. That's the being honest now, okay? Like, it affects everybody, directly and indirectly. But that direct, the shege. So if I don't want to be selfish, I'll be like, no, you know what I mean? But if I want to be selfish, yeah, I can sit down here and I will be getting exclusive content, videos, documents and things, about Tinubu's government when they swear for him on Monday. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? You always come here every night to come and see what is new. Mayegun, what is new? So all we have to do is just to remove Bokwari and put Kolu there. It's actually a good fitting. Two sick, old, senile kleptomaniacs who somehow would love to be deified. To be deified, yes. To be made like a deity. Shango, like that. Unfortunately, somebody like me can't exist where they exist. Not anymore. Right? So yeah, the two fossils were in As Old Rock today, and this is how it went. So if you pay attention, you will see where if you like say one roll, it won't trip. Like you know what I mean? He's an old man. So don't be surprised if you see him on wheelchair or you see him with a walking stick in another 6 months or so. Sure you get. Even though they will keep trying to hide a lot of things. But Baba, you cannot hide the mess. So nobody will hide mess. It go still smell, especially if not rotten one. You get what I mean? You can package them, but you know if you hide them. Anyway, the two fossils inside the As Old Rock today.